Hey everyone, my name is Luis Felipe Patiño, and I am the owner and executive chef of Cafe Racer Kitchen. We are a Colombian restaurant located in Minneapolis, Minnesota in the Seward neighborhood. I was born in Santa Marta, Colombia. It's a little Caribbean town. The barrio that I was born in is called Pescadito. I came here when I was 4 years old. I came here in 1991 during the Halloween snowstorm of 1991. So coming from a Caribbean, beautiful, 85 degrees year-round, you know, like growing up a couple of blocks from the beach, I had the privilege of having my parents still be able to provide me with a connection to my culture through food. First thing they're going to be creating is maduro, which is sweet plantains. Very ripened, mature plantain, which is what maduro means, mature. It's peeled, sliced, and caramelized. What we do to kind of contrast the flavor of the sweetness of the plantain, we add a little bit of usually cotija cheese. There's about 48 different kinds of actually confirmed regional arepas in Colombia. It really defines how unique the culture is. My arepas are very specifically like my grandmother's style arepa. A Caribbean style arepa, I can feel my grandmother's hands when I make this dough. We're gonna be doing an arepa con queso, a cheesy fried arepa. So this is two different kinds of cheeses, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of salt, a very finely ground white cornmeal that you can only specifically get in certain regions of South America. If you try to use a different type of cornmeal, it will not taste like this at all. It won't even do the same chemical process. Shape that into discs, they have to be perfect. And then we're gonna fry those, and it took me years to figure out how to actually get that kind of puff. I did the whole kind of corporate route, became a paralegal. I realized like I was meant for something else. The concept and the name of Cafe Racer came from the idea of I was gonna start off as a food truck, having a cafe that would go from place to place. Plus, I also love motorcycles. So I welded a motorcycle dirt bike ramp to the front of my food truck, and I would keep an actual supermoto on the front of my food truck in case I forgot something. What is a Cafe Racer? It is actually a derogatory term. Think about like the pictures of like, you know, the guys with the goggles and the leather helmet. They would basically customize their motorcycles to go as fast and be as light as possible, right? So they would turn their handlebars down. They would get rid of any piece of equipment that wasn't necessary to make that bike go. Rebellious culture, folks. They would literally ride from cafe to cafe, because I don't care how rebellious you are, you still need your cup of tea. One of the first things that we served out of the food truck was a Colombian street dog. Colombian hot dogs are very famous throughout the entire world. It's an all beef hot dog. We top it with a cilantro aioli, a sriracha aioli, pommes frites. Traditionally, it is very finely ground potato chips. We use pommes frites to give it a little bit more of a flair. And we also add some cotija cheese, some pico verde, and pickled sweet peppers. Secondly, we're gonna be doing some yuca frita. The yuca is the root of the cassava plant. We peel that, cut it, boil it, fry it. When we boil it, we do a really nice marinade of like garlic, onion, a little bit of acidity with some oranges. We fry that again after it's been dried out for a little bit, and then we season that with a little bit of lime salt, serve that with some cilantro aioli. My grandfather was a doctor. My mother's a doctor. A lot of her sisters are doctors. So my father's an attorney. He's a civil attorney trying to help folks. And it's always been about how do you balance the world around you? How do you try to make the world a better place? A little over 10 years ago, I found this place. And I decided to, I'm like, you know what, let's take the next step. Let's open up a brick and mortar. We have been doing a free meal, no questions asked for the community, the last Monday of every month. I call it break bread. It's to be able to come in, be taken care of in a way that balances out the playing field. You can't buy anything that day. It allows us to sit together in community. And sometimes you have to if they don't necessarily know that it's a free meal, they don't want to accept it because Minnesotans feel that they would be taking away from someone else, when in reality it's opposite. A buñuelo has been the hardest thing for me to try to figure out. It is a combination of different starches and doughs. Tapioca starch, corn starch, two different kinds of cheeses, a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of oil, egg, milk, a little bit of baking powder. If your emotions aren't in the right place, the dough isn't gonna come out. You have to be emotionally ready, because otherwise it'll just, the dough decides what it wants to do every single day. So the buñuelo is a very temperamental thing, and it is a tapioca cheese dough, and it is life-changing. We start every single day cutting vegetables, and those vegetables represent like my hopes for the day. And then at the end of the day, all of the dishes that I have to clean up are my accomplishments. All those empty plates are all the happy people that I fed, all the people that I was able to share my culture with. The impact that you can make is infinite.